Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Maryland Darling Show. Welcome to another episode of an ink review. I do apologize for being late. I was at I had to see the vampires today, and that was an educational experience. First time ever I've had a blown vein. So maddening. 23 years I've never had a blown vein. Made me so mad. Okay, anyway, we're here to do an ink review. How is everyone doing today? Are you having a nice day? I hope you're having a nice day wherever you are in the world. Let's do this. We're gonna share this with our friends so that they can come and hang out with us too. At this time, I would encourage you to share this with your friends so that they can come and hang out with us too. Share. Copy. Go to the Tumblr. Blogger. Twitter, fight spam, the LinkedIn, the Pinterest, YouTube. I need to make an ink review Pinterest thing. Reddit. Okay, so now that we're all shared out to our friends so that they can come and hang out with us too, let's take a look at today's ink. Today's ink is Blackstone Sydney Harbor Blue. Thanks go out to the OC Pen Club for providing the sample for this review. Today's pens we'll be using the Noodler's Conrad with the Fountain Pen Revolution Ultraflex nib and the Pensive Pen Serendipity with the Oval Broad nib. Alright, let's look at today's ink. This is a really nice blue ink. It's kind of a dark-ish blue ink. You know, bump up the lighting just a little bit. As you can see, it is very dark, but it does have some really nice shading going on. Very different in the flex and the non-flex. And it does have a little bit of red sheen, which is cool. Barely any water resistance, though. So that's too bad. There's what it looks like in the writing. This is 300-pound watercolor paper. Water resistance test shows I might not want to use this on the outside of an envelope for fear it may wash away. Here is our ink splotch. Toilet paper chromatography shows there's just one color. All I see is blue. But then when we look at the ink painting for the day, look at that beautiful pop of red sheen. Oh, that is so cool. Okay. Let's move this out of the way. Let's do a little... Uh-oh, where's my thing? Here it is. I pulled everything out so I could do some tweaking. Let's do a little writing sample. So this is... What is this? This is Blackstone. Sydney. Harbor. Blue. That's with the oval broad nib. Okay, let's do a little flex writing, shall we? This is Blackstone. So as you can see, it's two totally different shades depending on how fat the line that you put down is. So you can definitely see that there's two different shades of blue going on there. Really, really almost blue-black, and then a lighter dark blue. So, something to consider when using this ink. Although I would say get a sample, but I don't think they make this ink anymore, which is really sad. But if you know anybody that does inks, then maybe you can get a sample. Okie dokie. Let's do some paper review, shall we? This is a Pen and Gear memo, but oh my god, I feel the melatonin kicking in. I'm getting sleepy. So sleepy. Alright. Nice shading, no feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Lightweight Traveler's Notebook paper. Nice shading, a little bit of sheen. No bleeding, barely any ghosting. Super lightweight Traveler's Notebook paper. Little pops of sheen, shading, no feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Field Notes Journal. It is spreading into the page, a little bit of shading, a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. This is Moleskine 70 GSM. Oh, it is definitely seeping into the page with pops of feathering and shading, bleeding, and ghosting. What is this? Fabriano Eco Qua 85 GSM. A little bit of shading, a little bit of sheen. No feathering. Excuse me. No bleeding, no ghosting. Sleepy. 100 GSM Ayush. Little pop of sheen, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. Moisture 1917. No sheen, lots of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Midori MD paper. A little bit of sheen, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Cosmo Air Light. Sorry. Cosmo Air Light, 75 GSM. A little bit of sheen, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. 52 GSM, Tumaway River. Little pop of sheen, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. This is the Jot Journal from the Dollar Tree. A little bit of sheen, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. Marmon, Nemosiny, 80 GSM Dock Red. A little bit of shading, a little bit of sheen, no feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. This is Oxford Optic Paper. No sheen. Hi Carlos, how are you? A little bit of shading, a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. How you been? How you been? Clairefontaine, 90 GSM. A little bit of shading. Tiny little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Exceed 100 GSM heavyweight paper from Walmart.com. A little bit of feathering, a little bit of shading, a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Up and Up Wide Rule, Composition Books, Target.com. A little bit of shading, no real feathering, a little bit of micro bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. True Red Composition Book, Staples.com. A little bit of feathering, a little bit of shading, a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Apica Notebook Paper, 81.4 GSM. Oh, look at all that sheen. Wow. A little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. This is the Nanami 7C 68 GSM Tumaway River. A little bit of sheen, a little bit of shading, no feathering. Oh, a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Rhodia Dot Pad 80 GSM. I don't really see hardly any sheen. A little bit of sheen in there, a little bit of shading, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting though. Artist Loft 100 GSM paper. No sheen. Tiny, tiny wisps of feathering. A little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Buffet handmade paper from Italy. Oi. Feather like a chicken. No bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. U-Style notebook paper. A little bit of feathering, a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Sheffield Home Paper Goods. A little bit of feathering, a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. CVS Caliber notebook paper. Oh my god, look at all that beautiful sheen. And shading. No feathering, no bleeding, barely any ghosting. Oxford notebook paper. Again, sheen 2000. Shading, a little bit of ghosting. Mead wide ruled notebook paper. No sheen, a little bit of shading. Also a little bit of feathering. Bled right through the page. 5-star notebook paper. A little bit of shading, feathered like a chicken. A little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Speckled notebook paper. Nice shading. Don't see any sheen, no feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. HP Premium 32-pound copy paper. A little bit of shading.
This is a reminder. 6 p.m.
Little bit of ghosting. Akabe cross-section pad. No sheen, a little bit of shading. Little bits of bleed through, a little bit of ghosting. JNB copper plate graph pad from johnneilbooks.com. No sheen, barely any shading. A little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. And original Crown Mill 100 GSM paper. A little bit of shading, a little bit of feathering, a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Okay, let's do a comparison panel and see where this ink lies. I think it's going to be a blue ink. I have been known to be wrong in the past. Let's see. Shall we go with medium blue inks? I think we will. We'll go with medium blue inks. Put my finger cots on. Make sure we're in camera. Okay, this is Blackstone Sydney Harbor Blue next to Noodler's Bay State Blue, Organic Studio Nitrogen, Robert Oster Blue Moon, Tasha Rory, Sumir, Kompeki, Indigo's Pretty Close, Freedom of the Starry Skies, Sailor, Pilot, Tatcha, Diamine, Bernanke, Streets Pen, Monteverde, Bakersfield, Noodlers. This one's not even close. Diamine, Califolio, Noodlers, Diamine, Pen BBS, Ackerman, Colorverse, Krishna, Lamy, Cross, Jabba, Birmingham. This one's pretty close. This one's very close, except for this one has shimmer. Finta, Troublemaker. This one's near that one. Birmingham Angelfish, Teatramentus Robert Louis Stevenson South Seas Blue, KWZ Sheen Machine, Pilot, Sailor, Waterman, Cali Inks, Diamine, Aurora's not even close, Mayora, and Jerban. Let's take a look at some dark blue inks. Robert Oster, Noodlers, Diamine, Tatcha, Noodlers, Midnight Blue. These are kind of similar. Stargazer, Organic Studio, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Twilight Blue, Diamine, Vinta Inks Blue Blood, Diamine Skull and Roses, Diamine KWZ Sheen Machine, Fountain Pen Revolution Blue Black, Monteverde, Colorverse, Diatramentus, Twisby, Diamine, Diatramentus, Diamine, Robert Oster, and Beryllium, Ferris Wheel Press, Roaring Klinger, Waterman, Diamine, Pure Pens, Private Reserve, Colorverse, Diamine, Monarcha, Diatramentus, Ackerman. Well, what did you guys think about today's ink? Are you guys looking for a darkish blue? I don't think you'll be able to find this one. But if you can, or if you have a friend, maybe have them share a sample with you. Because this company went under at the beginning of the pandemonium, and I got the very last ends of a bottle of my favorite ink from them, which is Blackstone Daintree Green from pen friend Chris Signs. Such a generous gift. And now I kind of want some of this one. Why'd you have to go under, Blackstone? Why? Why don't you love? Stupid pandemonium. Okay, anyway. Go check out the first, second, and third ink links in the doobly-doo. The link for to save 10% on Pen Boutique expires on August the 6th. So go save 10% today before August 6th. So that's all I have for today. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I hope that you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the little bell. Make sure it's set to all so when I upload new content, YouTube notifies you. And I will be back very soon with another video. So take care until then. Okay, love you, bye. Have a great day.